To the channel. Today we're hitting triceps and biceps, and today I'm just going to be showing you a couple little tips, tricks, tweaks that I do that have allowed me to grow pretty solid biceps and pretty solid triceps up to this point in my lifting career. But that's enough jibber jabbering. That's enough talking. You're here to get information and gain knowledge. So we should probably start doing that, huh? And I should probably start getting pumped, huh? Yeah? Let's do it, huh? Go to the gym. I'll see you there, eh? Even though I'm already here, I'm going to see you there. All right. Are you there? Are you here yet? All right, let's go work out. All right, so now that you're at the gym, we're getting ready to hit triceps, right? But first, we're going to warm up. So get to your cable or whatever exercise machine that you're using, right? And get yourself a good little warm-up set going. Get that mind-muscle connection firing and ready to go, because you're about to have a disgusting lift today. You don't know it yet, but you're about to hit the best lift you've had in 2025 so far. But you're just going to need to follow along here, right? So we're starting just by getting warm. And make sure that when you're getting warm, you're hitting these sets with intent, right? Like, this is exactly how I'm going to hit my working set. Like, pretty similar tempo, pretty similar stance, pretty similar grip on the bar. Like, go into your working sets with a purpose, right? Because if you're just hitting your warm-up sets, go into warm-up sets with a purpose. Your warm-up sets are meant to get you warm and ready for your working sets, right? So if you're just sitting there messing around, like, what's the point of that, you know? So I hit my first warm-up set. I'm going to hit one more warm-up set, and then we're going to get into it with working sets. So hit another warm-up set, get your elbows warm, get your triceps fired, and then we'll be back to get dialed in. All right, first working set here, and we're not going to do any drop sets, any intense fires, nothing like that. We're just getting into it, starting the day off, right? So let's get these triceps turning and burning. Oh, man. All right, that's our first set in the books, and I like to go higher reps on triceps just because my elbow, my right arm, gets a little tweaked when I do heavier for triceps, and I'm sure it's a form thing that I just need to change that I just can't see on myself. But if you're wondering why I just hit so many reps, it's because I have a slight tweak in my right elbow when I go too heavy, and I just lose that mind muscle connection, and the workout just doesn't feel as good. So that's why I tend to go a little bit higher reps. So, but do your rep range whatever you're feeling like hitting, you know. But that's the reason why I'm doing so many reps. But you do not have to follow along in that aspect. All right. So it's been about a minute of rest time-ish, and so now I'm gonna jump into my second set. So are you. But I'm shooting for the same amount of reps, or at least within 2. But you should be more fatigued on that second set. So if you fall a rep short, that is to be expected. Good golly. Oh, the amount of blood in my arms already is nuts. But it's our second set, and we're going to hit one more here. It's going to be a drop set, and then we'll move into our second tricep exercise, and we'll do 3 tricep, 3 bicep. Simple, easy. You can get in and out of the gym super fast if you need to. So, all right, you wild animals. Third set here. Let's get after it with that juicy drop set. You're going to drop it to about, you're going to drop it by 40%. So if you were doing 100 pounds, you would take it down to 60. You would take 40% off your initial weight for the drop. So if you're doing 100 pounds, you drop it by 40 pounds. And since I'm doing 180, I'm going to drop it to 100 pounds on this machine, at least. So let's get into it. Into that drop. Oh, golly. Aye. Ouch. My arms are dead. Oh. But another thing on those two that you're probably seeing me do is the slow controlled eccentric. That gets so lost about and forgotten about in triceps. I see so many people just boom, boom, boom. And it's like, okay, that's awesome. You're moving way more weight than me. Like, that's cool. You know, that's awesome. Good for you. But like, this style of lifting, A, way more time under tension. B, injury risk, way lower. So that's why I tend to lean this way. Plus, I tend to see better results than just from pushing weight. So that's why I recommend going slow on the eccentric of everything. But we're going to get into our next tricep exercise. So I'm going to get that set up, and I'll see you there. All right, you wild animals. We're here for second exercise for triceps. And it's just going to be, you can't really see it, but squiggly. So you can kind of, all right. Holy smokes. So on these guys, like you kind of see me when I'm going up, instead of just hinging at the elbows, I kind of drop them down because a big component in your tricep training is your humerus, this bone in the arm is like movement of the humerus, right? It changes the stretch on the tricep. And a lot of people get stuck just hinging and doing extensions essentially at the elbow, right? Because you're here and you're here. You don't get a lot of people doing a lot of humerus movement. So we're reenacting that up here, right? Except we're dropping them down and then up like that. So you're still getting that humerus movement. And we're going to prioritize that in the two exercises today. So it'll be this one and the next set movement we're going to do is called a JM press. But just getting the movement of the humerus in a tricep movement is super important, and it's such a neglected part of tricep training. So I just try to emphasize it a little bit, and that's also why I'm emphasizing it in this workout. That way you can just have that subconsciously rolling in the back of your mind of like, oh yeah, need to incorporate a humerus movement. Got you. Jumping into our second set here, and we're going to do a drop set on this set and our next set. We're only doing 3 here as well. And the reason we're doing that is because it's easier to drop set on this exercise just because you're on a cable than it will be on our next exercise, which we'll be using the Smith machine. So if you're able to, I would drop set on these two. Unless you feel like your triceps are already rocked and you don't need it, then by all means, just hit a regular set, you know? But I'm just trying to get a huge triceps, so I gotta give them that extra work. And here's that humorous movement. Boom. Ooh. All right, boys, into that drop set. Again, about a 40% drop. That's kind of my rule of thumb on all drop sets. It's about 40% of the weight used in your working set. And another reason I really like this movement is because I lift solo a lot and it's very easy to take to failure. As you saw there, I just sit down with it, set it back down. There's little to no injury risk on that compared to if I was to do like an overhead dumbbell, right? And God forbid I drop it, like just a little safer of a movement. And I always harp on that because I'm just taking everything to failure all the time. So I'm always looking for the safest, most effective way to do that. So that's why I like doing it here instead of with a dumbbell. But if you don't like it on cables and you like it on dumbbells, do it with dumbbells, man. Working out's supposed to be fun. So if you don't like something, sub it for something else. All right. Third set. Let's go. Don't forget that drop set. All right, come on. Last tricep exercise of the day is going to be our JM press, like I was saying earlier. And we're going to hit 3 sets here as well. But you see why, like, it's a little harder to drop set here than it is just on the cable to click it. So that's why we do our drop sets there. And then here we'll just finish out with high reps and good blood flow. The whole spiel after my set, but it didn't really make sense. It was kind of conjumbled. But I was just saying how that's why we hit the drop sets on that last set, because it's easier just to click a notch. And on these, by the time I actually like do the drop set, it's taking me so long to take weights off that I don't really think it's quite as beneficial as opposed to doing it on the cable where I can immediately just drop and get right back into it. Also, too, you probably see me doing the grip like this, suicide grip, right? I'm not wrapped or anything. And then you see me wrap it towards the end. I wouldn't really recommend doing that until you really know the amount of weight you can do and kind of your rep range. Because like I know when I'm starting to get to my rep limit, then I rip the thumbs around so I can quick snap it in case I fail. So just keep that in mind. You know, when you're doing this exercise, can be a little dangerous, even though you are on a Smith machine. So make sure you're either using these stoppers here, or you have a spotter, or just don't do the suicide grip and wrap your thumbs. All right, so those are our first 2 sets down of the JM press. Just a little easier to talk to the camera when I'm doing it this way. So why we'll get back over there for our 3rd set. But yeah, they're just, this exercise, you don't really get the craziest of contractions at the top, but man, that stretch when you get down to like right there, because I dropped that bar right about at my neck height, and like just having that drop down and the way it pushes your humerus back and stretches the tricep, man, I don't know that there is another exercise that gives your tricep the stretch the way the JM press does. And it looks like a chest movement, but I honestly don't feel it in my chest at all. Like when I get down here, there's so much stretch in the tricep that like you're just, all you feel is that big old tricep just, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then you push up, and I don't fully lock out either. I stop right about there. Very little difference, but I just think that keeps constant tension on the tricep. Whereas this, like, yes, like I'm contracted right now. My tricep looks contracted, but like there's no tension on that thing, right? Whereas here, there's still tension on the tricep the whole way through. So that's kind of why I tend to not full lock out on these and just get almost there and then not quite. But let's get back over there, huh? Zoop, 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 zoop. Juicy. All right, I'll catch you at biceps. All right. Well, we made it to biceps, so we're doing good so far. I mean, it's never a bad day when you're getting to hit triceps and biceps at the same time, you know? The pump especially is never a bad time. Like, look at this. And that's just with the tricep pump going. Just give me like 20 minutes to get the biceps caught up, and oh baby, it's a triple. But I'm going to start with bicep cable curls just because you have that constant tension the whole way through as opposed to doing dumbbell. And we're going to hit 3 sets here, and then I'll do 3 sets of another bicep movement, and then we'll do some sort of finisher, which will be super high volume, but just to get a ton of blood in there. But yeah, it's enough jibber jabber and enough rambling. Let's lift some weight, huh? Ugh. Oh, so I like to go higher reps on biceps anyways, but that was a little too high rep. So I'm gonna up the weight, but I like to be in the like 10 to 15 rep range for at least for cable bicep curls. For dumbbell, I like to be like 8 to 12, but for cables, there's just something about getting into that higher rep range and having that constant time under tension because you're using a cable. I just don't know that you can really replicate that with any other bicep movement, you know, which is why I like to go higher reps because there's just so much time under tension and it gets me such a good pump and such a good mind muscle connection to start off my biceps that it's like, why not start with these, you know? So I like to really focus at that top on a big squeeze, and then you can't see it, but there's a plate right here, a bumper plate, because if I don't use that, then when I'm coming down, I touch the weight to the stack touches, whereas when I use this, I have constant tension the whole time. I can fully extend without setting that weight back down. So if you're tall like me and tend to have that problem, that's kind of how I get around it. The camera, aka an iPhone, said low power mode, and I said, oh shucks, buddy. So I don't know if that recorded or not, but if it did, you'll see it. If not, you're gonna see this clip of me explaining why you didn't see it. But we hit a second set just in case, and we're about to hit our third set here. All right, time to rip the third set, gents. Oh man, I was way more fatigued than I thought. Whoa, all right, little dropper. Wow. Oh. Oh man, all right. First bicep exercise complete. Next, we're gonna stay right here. We're gonna do behind the back cable curls, but I'll get that set up and I'll see you there. Woohoo! So I get a slight lean forward and then just boom, a hinge at the elbows. Oh man, the start of these feel so easy. Then you get into them and you're like, oh, they hurt so bad, but like good hurt, you know. But again, 3 sets here, no drop sets on this one. Oh, I'll catch you for the second set. I don't know if I'm gonna film the third set. These are pretty self-explanatory. All right, so now we're into that juicy bicep finisher. So what that's gonna look like is I'm gonna grab 15-pound dumbbells and I start with normal curls. Then I go into sunshine curls where you turn your wrists at the top to face downward. And then I go into hammers. And then I finish out with iso hold while curling with the other side. And I hit everything for 7 reps, each like group of exercises. And I just do one set of these to completely burn out at the end. So enough talking, let's do it.
is where you gotta push through. Catch for a little posing, and then we're out.
All right, so juicy little arm day. I'm playing with the angles a little bit, see what makes my shoulders look a little wider, right? Let's see. And you know what? I'm actually gonna change the angle just to see how it looks. So, funny story. I was, making the vid, editing, and audio got all messed up. Huh, pal? Yeah, audio got absolutely wrecked. I don't know why, don't know how, but this is the new outro. So, I hope you guys enjoyed arm day, man. It was a nasty arm day. Disgusting. But, enough talk. Go enjoy life. Thanks for coming, guys. Have a great day.